Last week, we talked about what's happening behind the scenes, the restructuring, the financial pressure, the decisions at the top. What is happening right now in retail? But those decisions don't stay there. They land with the people on the floor, the associates that still are showing up every day, still caring, still trying to create magic in the middle of uncertainty. And this week, we're talking about what that actually feels like to work inside it. Because there's a very specific kind of heartbreak in retail right now. It's realizing that after years of loyalty, after building your life around a place, devoting your career to it, missing time with your family for it, it stopped taking care of you a long time ago the way that you took care of it. And for many associates, that feeling became very real when Saks Global filed for Chapter 11 restructuring. There is hope, but uncertainty, it doesn't stay at work. It follows you home. This is Sorry It's Discontinued, a podcast about the reality of retail, the people that keep it going every day, and the brands and stores we all love. So let's get into it.
Sorry. It's discontinued.
So right now, Saks Global, the parent company of Saks Fifth Avenue and Neiman Marcus, is in bankruptcy restructuring. Leadership says there's financing, there's experience, and there's a recovery plan. And Jeff Van Romdonk, who helped guide Neiman Marcus through bankruptcy before in 2020, he and his team, they are back to lead the turnaround. Thank goodness. And all of that matters. It does, but it matters mainly on paper, in the office, and the spreadsheets. But what those things don't show, they don't show the associate that's answering the nervous customer's questions. They don't show the manager trying to keep morale up. They don't show the team quietly wondering, what happens? Is this it for us? What if this does not work? Because recovery, it is not just financial. It is human. If you've worked in one store long enough, you don't just work there. You literally have built a life around this place. You know the regulars, the rhythm of the day, which drawer and cabinet might stick, which one you have to be careful so you don't nick your pants, tear a hole in them, which manager you might need to avoid until they have had their coffee. You know the customer who buys the same lipstick twice a year, or the husband who comes in every birthday for a fragrance for his wife. You recognize the sound of the gates in the morning, the hum of the lights as they're being turned on when you're an opener. You probably even know the playlist that they continually play, like the back of your hand, because it gets stuck in your head. All of it becomes familiar, predictable, almost safe, and like a second home because you feel like you're there more than you are at home. And when something feels like home, you tend to stay loyal. You show up early. You might stay later. You cover shifts. You fix displays. You help with visuals. You do the things that technically aren't even your job because you care. You care more than you're paid to care. But it doesn't feel like just work. It feels personal, like a home away from home. And over time, Coworkers stop feeling like coworkers and they feel like friends and family. When you have that, the people, the rhythm, the stability, work does not feel so heavy. You can handle it. You can take it. Might not be perfect, but it's a steady rhythm that you know. There was a time when retail felt solid. It had full teams, good hours, discounts that were amazing, really, really generous. You had great trainings. You were excited for the trainings. You might not have gotten excited for the training until you get there. And then you experience the training and you're motivated, excited about the brand you work for and the store that you're going to go highlight it in. The trainings made you better at your job. You had time with customers, time to talk, time to match foundations properly and wrap a gift beautifully, and had all of the things that you needed to do that. You created an experience, and luxury felt like luxury. The floors were full, stock rooms had what you needed. There was support when you needed it, not completely stressed out managers. I'm sure that they were still stressed, but there were managers on the floor to help. And there was a pride in knowing you did your job well and you weren't just clocking in. You were building relationships. You were building trust, building something that lasted. Like what you did actually mattered. I felt like that. I felt that quite a few times in my career. But things have changed, but expectations have stayed exactly the same. Same goals, same standards, same make it happen, take care of what you need to do, just with fewer people and fewer tools. Now, two associates are doing the work of six, covering counters and answering calls and running stock, handling returns. And it's exhausting what is happening now. And customers are watching all of this happen and they just see empty shelves, longer waits, looking for someone to help them, and frustration. Who does it affect the most? The retail community, the associates, every single time. Managers feel it too. They're covering callouts, working the floor, coaching morale, answering corporate emails, and explaining numbers, all while trying to protect their teams while quietly worrying themselves, worrying about payroll and targets and whether their store is next. Everyone is holding it together for everyone else. And after a while, that kind of pressure, it wears on you. Now, it's funny. I was thinking about new hires. Like when I was hired on, especially at Saks, I don't know, around 2013. But when I was hired at Saks, I was so excited. I was so excited to work for a legacy store, for a store that I had actually visited. Well, it was the Houston store that I was working at, but I had visited the New York store, the Fifth Avenue store, when I was 16. And finding myself working for this beautiful store and this beautiful history, it was awe-inspiring. There was magic in that. And over the course of time, the years that I was there, I quickly found myself learning more survival, and the magic slowly faded. And it happens now a lot faster than it did before. When someone who is excited about fashion and beauty, excited about the history of department stores, and starting this new job in one of these department stores, you just can't wait. But you quickly find yourself learning survival instead of excited about the magic. And then you look at the long timers, people who had been there for decades, raise families on these paychecks, counted on the retirement and the benefits and the stability. And now every headline about what is happening comes with the same question. What happens if we close? And that kind of worry, it doesn't stay at work. You take it home. Customers feel it too, because energy, it changes a store. And when teams feel supported, the floor feels alive. When they're tired, the clients feel that instantly. You can tell when the morale is down, not because associates don't care, because they're human. Now, all of this happening, it isn't just in Saks or in stores that are uncertain. Retail staffing, retail morale, it has all changed across the industry. While expectations, they keep rising. A lot of stores are carrying less inventory to save money. They're cutting costs in many ways, but associates, you are still carrying the emotional weight. And here's the truth. Customers don't just come back because of the brands or the store. They come back because of the people, the connection, the education, the experience. Because of the experience that you, my retail family, all of us associates that we create for these customers every day, that human connection. Retail people, they're not leaving retail or quitting these jobs because they're weak. We are not weak. We are tired. We're tired because it's not the work that hurts. Truthfully, it's caring more about the companies and the stores and the customers than the company seems to. And it is really hard to keep loving a place that just doesn't love you back. It's not a very healthy relationship. And that's the part that hurts. Now, after 25 years in this industry, there is one thing I know for sure. Stores, they really don't survive because of strategies. The little boutiques and the brands, they grow because of the people. You build it and create this energy and connection and inclusivity for everyone, a very welcoming, come on over. My house is your house. Mi casa is your casa. I want everyone to feel welcome and comfortable here. It's the associate who remembers your foundation shade, the one who might drop off something at your house, the one that recognizes you when you walk up to the counter, the one who cares. They're the reason customers come back, the reason that we get so excited about products and we want to share the plethora of information that we have about products that we love. Because we love the things that we are selling. We love it. And we want to share how much we love it with you and the world. I mean, yeah, we're going to be tired sometimes, but we're human. So, associates, if you are clocking in every day, even when your world and work, it does not feel certain, I see you. I have felt like that. The fluctuation and emotional weight and basically our uncomfortable, crazy retail life that we live. I see you. Retail runs because of you. So, all of that said, with everything going on right now with Saks Global and a lot of these companies that are struggling and people are uncertain about their jobs and if their store is even going to be there in the next few months, you have to take care of yourself. You have to love on yourself. If it's a walk, if it's going to church, if it's going to meditate, whatever religion or non-religion, or if you're an atheist and you just love a tree, go do something for yourself. It makes such a difference. Did I say that it makes a difference? I don't know. Did I say it? It does. And even though if it's cold outside, you can go sit in a corner and paint your nails or do what I've been doing lately. I've actually been exercising. I've been walking my dog, even throwing on a bunch of coats and things because it's been chilly. Not as cold as Ohio, where I'm from, but I also have been using eye patches. I'm a fan of an eye patch. I love an eye patch. I have quite a few different brands. I just recently got the Peter Thomas Roth eye patches and I leave them in the fridge and I put them on for 10 minutes and it's like a little reset. It's nice and cold, especially in the morning when I'm editing or I'm working on the podcast and I'm just thinking about what do I want in my life today. Usually it's an HEB curbside order and a puppy cuddle, but uh, these eye patches, it's nothing fancy, but it's a great way to give some loving back to yourself. So love on yourself. All my retail fam, you guys have to take care of yourselves right now, even if it's just a few minutes. So anyway, I love you guys, and I am so thankful you sat with me on today's episode or with me for today's episode. I don't know how that works. But I want to remind you for all of us out there, whether we're working in front of the counter or behind it, that we smile, we're kind to each other, we shop in store. You can do both online in store. It's fine, but bring it in store. A lot of the time, take care of your sales associates and yourself. All right. So, thanks for sitting with me on Sorry It's Discontinued, and I love you guys. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to Sorry It's Discontinued, the podcast that brings you the reality of retail and the people, brands, stores, and products we all love. If you enjoyed today's episode, hit follow, leave a review, or share it with a fellow retail warrior. You can always connect with me or support the show at sorryitsdiscontinued.com or buymeacoffee.com/sorrypodcast. Now, this podcast is independently produced and not sponsored by any brand, company, or organization. All views, opinions, and personal stories shared are their own and do not represent any retailer or brand mentioned. Brand names, product references, and service mentions are included for storytelling and commentary purposes only. But I thank you so much for sitting with me today. And remember, continue to shop in store, support your local stores and your local sales associates. You can even call them and order. It's amazing. And every visit helps keep these stores open so we can all continue enjoying real in-person retail therapy. And I'll see you next time. I appreciate you so much. Bye.
Sorry. It's discontinued.